You guys ready for the mailbag?
1,000. Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay. So there's not a lot this week.
Let's go.
So the first one is an AEW. It says from Sean Oddie, AEW question. Here's a question for all the AEW marks. I don't know why the questions are both supposed to be for us.
Our
Maybe
mailbag and listeners seems to skew anti-AEW, doesn't it?
I guess, yeah. Well, we criticize the show because there's a fan. There's fans of AEW and there's fans of the people that aren't. But we just call it like we see it. But I guess we fostered a lot of people that don't. That brother. The only thing is that this
maybe they're seeing the same things we are.
Yeah. So here's a question for all the AEW.
I mean, one thing, you're free to defend whoever you want, as you know. When AEW does good, we put it over.
Yeah, and so the funny thing is, it's not like we're putting WWE over.
Right.
We call it like we see it on certain things. We're very critical where we think criticism is deserved because, like, let's face the facts: the wrestling ratings are not like shooting through the roof because they're doing good shit every week. They're dropping. So you shit on WWE for their alleged mistreatment of their talent, and praise AEW because they supposedly treat their talent great. What health insurance benefits does Tony Khan provide for his wrestlers? Better yet, does Tony Khan support unionization of the pro wrestling industry? If so, what steps have been taken to advance that idea? Remember Cody Rhodes talking about these things around AEW's inception, but have yet to be mentioned again. You claim AEW is the revolutionary and progressive wrestling promotion, yet how are they so much more progressive than WWE, Impact Wrestling, ROH, NWA, etc., or any other wrestling promotion? Don't try to feed me BS such as AEW is new company, man. Give them time, man. If I can't answer the question honestly, then AEW is not as revolutionary and progressive as the delusional marks claim it to be. Edit. For those that don't know, Cody Rhodes initially made comments stating that wrestlers need to band together to implement changes in the wrestling industry. Cody has since backed off his comments stating that a union would destroy the wrestling industry. For someone who is obsessed with Paul Levesque, Triple H, Cody has studied his master politician's techniques. Cody also promised health insurance for AEW wrestlers. Only Cody, Brandi Rhodes, Nick, and Matt Jackson are covered under health insurance. This is said to be the same health insurance used by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Basically, Tony Khan just using his daddy's money in health insurance. My answer to this is just who cares? I mean, like, bro, wrestling's never going to unionize because number one, we'll never do. Who are you going to ask? First of all, who is going to be the people to vote on who the union leader is? Okay, number two, what actually constitutes you? Like, gives you professional wrestler status to be able to get any benefits that you would be like health insurance or stuff. Like, like if you've ever been on a show, does that make you professional wrestlers? Like, who trained you? Are you professional? There's too many questions.
But there is something that should be done because you don't get overtime pay, you don't get pension. There's a lot of that you just don't get. Workman's comp.
Well, that'd be collective bargaining. You have to sit at the table, negotiate these things. But here's the one thing we talked about this when let me finish my thing. Then you go. As me and Vince talked about this on his show, and I was just saying is like when you start asking the questions, I go. Ultimately, the thing is like, okay, we don't have health insurance. It's all right, but like most of the guys that make a lot of money, bro, health insurance is like $300 a month. It's like you can buy health insurance. It's not cheap, and something. But with my job, they take it out of my paycheck, my health insurance. I pay like a couple $100 a month for health Yeah, but it's cheaper than it would pay, like, but that's a good plan.
They're big enough companies where they should be taking care of their employees, especially when their employees are susceptible to being hurt and putting their bodies on the line for your profit.
Okay, here's what
can you imagine if baseball didn't have health insurance or football didn't have,
we've been office before. This is what I would actually say from office is say, all right, well, if we're paying your health insurance, here are all the things you can't do anymore in the ring.
Right.
And I'm just going to give you the long list because you're going to get – if you get hurt, that's good. That's good. I mean, and that's – and
some people may be willing to make that trade-off.
Yeah, maybe.
It sucks to have to be going on online to be asking GoFundMe from the fans because you get hurt and your promotion won't take care of you, And I had that problem in TNA, and that's part of the reason why I ended up suing them,
Right,
But
right.
I will say this. All the questions should be for me or Disco, not for AAW marks. Joe can get them too. And all I can say about I've never heard this story you just said. And I just think as far as Cody Rhodes, and I'm not saying him specifically, but in general, a lot of times people are going to say what's politically correct or whatever they think will keep them in the fans' good graces. The problem is in today's gotcha society, people are going to dig that shit up and hold it over your head. So lying today is not as easy as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I don't know. People always say what they got, until they actually get there, they find out the realities of who they got to work with. And maybe you're up this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where was it ever confirmed? And maybe you guys have heard or read this or know better, but I thought the AEW guys did get some kind of insurance. Was it confirmed?
What does confirm mean? Well, bro, we got dirt sheet writers. It's like that. I'm not getting any like stories like this. I'm doubting I'm getting the story, because I don't know who's reporting it or whatever, Bro, for wrestling fans, usually this is the thing. As wrestling's become more social justice, now we're having there's stories on the industry that need to be discussed. Instead, it used to be the dirt sheets. Like, I just want to know what happened on these shows, backstage, guys at heat with an angle, stuff, the creatives thing. That's usually all we ever discussed. Or if a guy got hurt, what happened? So, but these are like social issues. And like this, so these guys are out of their element trying to cover this stuff. They don't know what to ask,
I'm just saying, I had never heard that it was only Cody and the Bucks and Brandy and possibly Omega that are covered because they're VPs.
They're all executive presidents.
Right.
But the guy saying that Cody said that it would be for everybody. So it's almost like, okay, maybe, I'm not saying this has happened because I don't know. But you know how sometimes when you get there and you're on top and you're like, I got mine, you get yours. Because that's the mentality of most wrestlers. Very few wrestlers are ever thinking of helping others. They just get theirs and they don't want to rock the boat, and that's how it is.